Unfortunately, many aspects of our daily lives can undermine our self-confidence and trigger negative emotions, ultimately leading to increased stress. Therefore, it is wise to be prepared and aware of such factors. Here are some examples of such situations. 1. Comparing yourself to other people. Measuring oneself against the standards of others can cause doubts about one's own uniqueness and abilities. Striving for the ideals set by others can distort one's real self-image and create feelings of dissatisfaction. Instead of constantly comparing yourself to others, it is important to recognize your own accomplishments and move forward in pursuit of personal goals and ideals. This approach promotes a healthy self-image and increases self-confidence. 2. Expecting too much of oneself. Setting exorbitant standards and expectations for oneself can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and self-doubt. Expecting too much of yourself often leads to perfectionism, which in turn can become an obstacle to personal growth and development. Instead of endlessly striving for perfection, it is important to recognize your achievements and accept yourself for who you are. Realizing that every person has strengths and weaknesses helps you find inner harmony and confidence in your actions. Remember that every step forward, even if it is small, brings you closer to your goals. It is also important to realize that self-recognition and acceptance of your abilities contribute to a more harmonious life and personal development. 3. Negative thinking. Constantly dwelling on the negative and focusing on your own shortcomings can undermine your self-confidence and self-esteem. Instead of dwelling on negative thoughts, it is important to focus on the positive aspects of life and personality. Practicing gratitude and mindfulness can help change a negative view of the world and your own life. Remember that every obstacle can be overcome, and every setback is an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Don't dwell on past mistakes. It is important to look to the future with optimism and self-belief. Self-perception and self-confidence are built on the basis of positive thoughts and self-care. Refraining from self-criticism and paying attention to your achievements will help to build confidence in your strengths and achievements. 4. Fear of criticism. Fear of criticism can create a sense of doubt about one's own knowledge and skills, which can ultimately seriously undermine self-confidence. This fear can sometimes stop us in our actions and prevent our personal and professional development. However, it is important to remember that criticism, while it can be painful, can also represent a valuable source of feedback that helps us learn and grow. Therefore, it is important to learn to accept criticism constructively, using it as a tool to improve your skills and confidence. Remember that everyone is entitled to their opinion, and criticism does not always reflect your true worth and abilities. It is important to evaluate criticism objectively, filtering helpful advice from negative comments. This process will help you develop as a professional and as a person, becoming more confident and competent in your chosen fields. 5. Negative experiences in the past. Negative experiences from the past can influence our present state and our future direction. These experiences can lead to various emotional reactions, such as anxiety, fear, or depression. However, it is important to realize that past mistakes and failures do not determine our future completely. Instead of dwelling on negative experiences, it is important to learn from the past and use them as valuable experiences for personal growth and development. Sometimes the most difficult moments in life can be a source of strength and wisdom for future challenges. It is also important to remember that we can process our experienced pain and transform it into strength and growth, learning new skills, and enhancing our psychological well-being. The ability to learn useful lessons from negative experiences is a sign of our emotional maturity and intellectual flexibility. 6. Too much concern for everyone. Overcaring for everyone and taking on all-encompassing responsibilities can cause feelings of inadequacy and undermine confidence in one's abilities. Constantly striving to meet all the needs and expectations of those around you can lead to feelings of overload and exhaustion. However, it is important to realize that we do not have to take full responsibility for everything and everyone. It is important to learn how to set boundaries and delegate tasks, recognizing that sometimes we also need time and care for ourselves. Learning to pause, rest, and take care of our own needs will help maintain balance and build self-confidence. This process will also help you learn to value your own time and energy, making it more efficiently spent. It is important to remember that self-care is not a selfish act, but rather a key to long-term physical and emotional well-being. 7. Striving to be perfect. The desire for perfection and a perfectionist approach to every detail can cause feelings of inferiority and undermine confidence in our own abilities. In the constant struggle for ideals, we can become overly critical of ourselves, losing sight of our achievements and successes. However, it is important to realize that perfection is not always attainable, and inaccuracies are a natural part of the growth and development process. Rather than striving for an illusory ideal, it is more appropriate to recognize one's efforts and successes on the road to self-improvement. Developing the ability to accept yourself with flaws and mistakes will help build self-confidence and achieve more in your personal and professional life. Every endeavor and every step forward brings us experiences and lessons that help us grow and become better. It is important to appreciate progress, even if it seems small, and to remember that there is no perfect path to success, but a constant striving for excellence. 8. Expectation of others' approval. Excessive seeking of approval from others and fear of disapproval can lead to feelings of discomfort and doubts about one's own abilities. The constant expectation of validation from others can lead to a loss of identity and dependence on external opinion. However, it is important to realize that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and it is not always possible to meet all the expectations of others. Instead of constantly seeking approval, it is important to develop inner confidence and self-esteem based on one's own values and accomplishments. True confidence comes from recognizing one's worth and having confidence in one's abilities, regardless of the opinions of others. It is also important to remember that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and true happiness comes from accepting yourself for who you are, regardless of what others think of you. Giving up the constant focus on the opinions of others frees you from the misconception that your own worth depends on external evaluations, which allows you to more fully realize your potential and live by your own rules. 9. Lack of sufficient attention to self. Not paying enough attention to yourself, your emotions, and your needs can weaken your self-confidence and cause you to doubt your abilities. In a world of so many demands and expectations, it is easy to forget about your own well-being and emotional comfort. However, it is important to realize that self-care is not a selfish act, but a necessity for health and wellness. Paying attention to our needs allows us to better understand ourselves and our emotions, which in turn builds self-confidence and self-esteem. Remember that self-care is not only justified, but necessary for our well-being and success in life. Investing time and energy into your needs and emotional well-being is an important step toward better self-awareness and increased psychological stability. Ultimately, self-care opens the door to a happier, more satisfied, and productive life full of harmony and confidence. 10. Risk aversion and fear of change. Risk aversion and fear of change can lead to feelings of incompetence and fear of leaving our comfort zone, which significantly undermines our sense of confidence. Risk aversion can limit our opportunities for growth and development, as it is through overcoming challenges and exploring new horizons that we arrive at new achievements. It is important to remember that risk-taking is not only a chance for success, but also an opportunity for learning and self-development. Therefore, it is important to free ourselves from the fear of the unknown and instead see it as an opportunity to grow and expand our horizons. Such challenges help us to learn more about ourselves, discover our potential, and learn how to overcome obstacles. In addition, confidence in our own ability to cope with change helps us to adapt to new environments and meet challenges with an open mind and determination. It is important to realize that risk is an inevitable part of life, and only bold steps can lead to new achievements and successes. Ultimately, building personal confidence requires recognizing the factors that can undermine it and placing more importance on one's achievements and goals than on any fears and insecurities. This requires mindfulness and self-reflection, as well as a willingness to accept challenges and risks as you pursue your goals. Self-confidence grows when we look at our accomplishments with pride and satisfaction, even though they may be small or insignificant. Affirmation of our abilities and skills contributes to our inner sense of confidence and sustains us during trials and challenges. It is also important to remember that every experience, even failure, is a lesson that brings us closer to our goals and helps us improve.